What's up guys, my name is JDCut5 and welcome back to another review where we're reviewing the Chelsea versus Arsenal game where it was 1-1 at the Bridge. Before we do get into the video, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Chelsea won, Arsenal won then, in a game that was pretty much hyped up, a battle of the Bridge, the London derby. It didn't really seem to live up to expectations. First half was pretty tame in my opinion, nothing really seemed to happen. Obviously we had the VAR incidents where they seemed to give a free kick, it was played straight away without the Chelsea players seeming to know, and then all of a sudden it was a goal for Kai Havertz. Luckily for ourselves it was ruled offside. He did love to shush the Chelsea fans, but they did shove it back in his face after being ruled out. The first half didn't really seem to create too much, in fairness. I mean, apart from the chance for Malo Gusto, where he was able to come across goal where Pedro Neto crossed it in, Gusto should have done much better with it. A slight shove in the back, but nothing realistically to an award of penalty. And unfortunately, that was the end of that particular move. But yeah, the first half was quite tame. We had a lot of possession. I felt like we looked dangerous on the ball. We had a free kicks in a few dangerous areas. We seemed to defend quite well. Didn't really seem to be able to kind of be under too much threat, but we just didn't seem to be able to kind of push enough to realistically say that we should be 1-0 up. Going into the second half, I felt like we dropped off massively. I just didn't feel like we really we just lacked that edge. We lacked that real kind of final ball. And as the game kind of started progressing in the second half, you could see that Arsenal were slowly but surely getting themselves back into the tie and going from there. And unfortunately, Gabriel Martinelli did get his first goal in the game in the 60th minute. It was a great ball from Odegaard, I have to say. And then unfortunately, they did score. But 10 minutes later, Pedro Neto brought out some brilliance and he did get his first Premier League goal for Chelsea. And what a way to do it. A phenomenal strike against David Raya, completely out of nowhere. Arsenal just didn't really seem to put a foot wrong, it seemed to be, but the one foot they did put wrong, we made sure we took our chance. It was an absolutely fantastic finish and another assist from Enzo Fernandez, 4 assists in the week for him himself after coming on off for a substitute. And after that, Arsenal did have some more chances, in fairness. Chelsea kind of, again, just driving forward, but really lacking that killer edge, lacking that final ball to realistically kind of create a killer chance. And there should have been a moment at the end where the ball was squared over to the face of goal. I couldn't really see it from when I was sitting for who would have been latching onto it, but should have been a goal nevertheless. I think realistically it's fair to look at the result and say it was a draw, because you couldn't look at that kind of game and say, do you know what, both sides could have won that. They could have had a chance of winning that. I think Arsenal would have probably been in more favour of winning it, but at the same time, when you look at the actual result and the stats, I feel like it's realistically fair. 49% possession for Chelsea, 51% possession for Arsenal, 17 shots for Chelsea, 13 for Arsenal, with only 3 on target for both sides, which is very poor considering how many shots were contributed in the game. 415 passes for Chelsea and 428 for Arsenal. I feel like it was an even game, and I feel like if the circumstances that were thrown against us last season in that sort of regard, I feel like we'd have lost that game. I was happy that we showed some fight. I'm happy that we showed some will to be able to get ourselves back into the game. It was clear that we weren't really good enough for the win, and we were probably lucky in some respect to get a draw, knowing that the one chance that came to us we took. But at the same time, I do feel like it's somewhat of a fair result. Now going into the lineup and my thoughts on each and every individual player that did play today. Robert Sanchez in goal. The more I say, the probably worse it gets, in fairness. I just can't stand him as a goalkeeper. This passing out from the back nonsense is just not working. I don't know if it's a Pep Guardiola thing because Arteta likes to do it with Arsenal and they seem to kind of copy the same sort of way that Chelsea are doing, or vice versa, but it just doesn't work. I've said it from the start. I'll keep stressing it until he gets dropped. Not good enough for Chelsea, and a 5.0 rating for Robert Sanchez. Marc Cucurella, a 7.0 rating. Nice to see him back in the side, and he had Saka in his back pocket, in my opinion. I felt like he was really strong on the ball, made sure he was able to drive when he was able to win the ball, really hot in the interceptions and being able to kind of win the headers when needed and throwing himself at every sort of kind of block if that he possibly could. And I didn't feel like he put that much of a foot wrong today, so a 7.0 for Marc Cucurella. Switching over to the right side, it was Malo Gusto that was favoured over Reece James. Only a 6.0 for Malo today. Had some good spells in the game, but realistically I felt like he was quite beaten on that right hand side. It was quite clear to see that Martinelli was getting the best of him at times. And I just didn't feel like he was realistically strong enough to be able to kind of play it out and just realistically kind of work in that sort of inverted role. I'm not too sure if that's something that's really suiting Mallow as of the moment. Wesley Fofana and Colwill continued their partnership on the pitch. Fofana was superb. I thought he was really, really good. Solid in a challenge, threw his body at every single possible block that he possibly did. Had many moments where he picked up the ball and felt like he could drive with it himself to be able to see if he can create any kind of sort of angst and a bit more creativity in the attacking way to be able to drive the ball forward. I felt like he was unlucky with one chance in the second half where he hit it and it was on the top of the net. But I just felt like we've really got a decent player in Wesley Fofana. It's been hard for him over the recent times, obviously with the big injury that he caught last season and so on. We didn't play at all last season. It was a season before that, which is strange enough to see. But yeah, I think Chelsea are really getting their money for what they're seeing at the moment, and Wesley Fofana is becoming a very, very solid centre back. That is for sure. Levi Colwill, a 6.5 rating. I didn't feel like Levi was at the races compared to what he's previously been like. Felt like he was very sloppy on the ball, had a few good interceptions, but didn't really seem to counteract in terms of his passing like he can do. I just didn't feel like he was good enough and just lacked in many ways. But at the end of the day, everyone's going to have their bad days. He did unfortunately have the error where he did give the ball away for Martinelli, but I felt like he did do kind of well physically against Kai Havertz. So it's a bit of a tailor between the two. But yeah, 6.5 for Levi Colwill. Moving on to the midfield, we've gone for Moises Caicedo with a 6.5 rating. Realistically, lucky to not being punished when he did obviously lose it out to Moreno late on. I felt like there were some vital challenges that Moises made. I don't feel like it was the performances that we've seen as of late, but I don't feel like it was bad at the same time. I just felt like he was pretty average. He gave Odegaard a big welcome back by just completely crunching him at one point in time, which was quite interesting to see. But yeah, I felt like he was good. I didn't feel like he was bad. I didn't feel like he was poor. I didn't just kind of more average compared to what we've seen as of late. Romeo Lavia, I felt again realistically a 6.2 rating. Just protected the back four quite well, but it's just one of those. I'm hoping that he's not obviously injured because he's been a vital part of the partnership between himself and Moises Caicedo. Moving forward, Pedro Neto. Wow, what a player we have on our hands. 9.0 rating for Pedro. Absolute just unbelievable performance for himself. Was unlucky to not get an assist in the first half after a great cross put into the box where Gusto couldn't convert. And then the strike in the second half was absolutely superb. I thought leading up to that, I didn't feel like he created enough, but at the same time, when you're able to come out in moments like that where the game seems dead and buried and you're able to put finishes like that away, then you feel like you've got a top player on your hands. Cole Palmer, 6.0, probably the worst performance I've actually seen him play, but I can't slate him too much because I don't feel like he's fully fit. Had 2 free kicks in quick succession where he just completely flunked it and hit the wall, sorry. And just, yeah, it was one of those. He did test Raya at one point, but not really enough to be able to say that he was worthy of a good performance. I just didn't feel like he was fit. I'm surprised to see him on the team sheet, in fairness. Noni Madueke, a 7.0 rating. I felt like he troubled Timber quite a lot on that particular side. Obviously, he had that cross for where Fofana had that big chance in the second half. But at the same time, I thought like he put in a good shift. Noni Madueke has been slated as of late, and I haven't really been the biggest of fans, I have to say. But it's nice to see him doing better, and I will always support him as long as he's got that blue shirt on. Nicholas Jackson, 5.0. Just Saliba completely just completely drowned him out of the game. He had one point where he had an offside goal, but he was just so offside, it wasn't even kind of worth VARing. Just didn't really be able to create anything. Lacks a lot of presence even with his size, which I feel like sometimes it feels like he needs a swift kick after the international break to get back into touch and really start performing for ourselves. Enzo Maresca made 4 substitutions there. Christopher Nkunku, Reece James, Enzo Fernandez and Mykhailo Mudryk all featured. Mykhailo Mudryk came onto the pitch for Noni Madueke at the same time as Enzo Fernandez came on for Romeo Lavia. Out of the two, Fernandez was top, to be honest. He created an assist and he showed a lot of will to be able to win the ball back and be able to drive forward. I felt like he was that little bit of kind of hint that we needed in that midfield to be able to get, and he did get the assist for Neto. Mudryk's got a lot of pace and he threatened with that, but I just don't feel like he really did enough. Reece James and Christopher Nkunku, I couldn't really say because they just didn't really have enough game time on the pitch. But overall, Chelsea move up to 3rd. We've now got the international break, and after that we've got some tough fixtures. I think we've got Leicester, Conference League fixtures, Villa, Tottenham, so some big fixtures that come ahead, and once again we'll see what we can do near to the end of the season, in the end of the year, shall we say, going into January. But yeah, really happy that what we've done at the moment. I feel like if we was in that position last season, we'd have lost the game. So I feel like we're definitely making progress, and it's just time to it's going to take time. I think that's the whole general consensus about a whole of us as a club and the transition and so on, and what we've got going on here. But very happy to say the least. It's unfortunate we didn't get the win, but I will definitely settle for a draw. But that is it for this review. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe for more content, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.